all of the resource persons who will give their testimonies before this committee to take their oath, and I hereby direct the COMSEC to please administer the oath of all those resource persons. May we request those who will enlighten this committee of on the matter to please rise and for the administration of their oath.
Please raise your right hand and follow me. I, please state your name, swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, COMSEC, and thank you, distinguished guest. So we now give the floor to the Honorable Secretary of Justice, Vit Aguirre.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. To all our deputy speakers present, to the chairperson of the Committee on Justice, Honorable Reynaldo Umali, to the chairperson of the Committee on Public Order, Honorable Romeo Acop, to the chairperson of the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Honorable Robert Ace Barbers, Majority Floor Leader Rudy Pareñas, Minority Floor Leader Congressman Danny Suarez, Vice Chairman Henry Huaminal, distinguished members of the August committees comprising this joint investigation, distinguished members of the House of Representatives, PAO Chief Presidia Acosta, the USEC of the Department of Justice, members of the media, both local and international, to all resource persons, a blessed and drug-free morning to all. Before anything else, I wish to reiterate that the Department of Justice fully supports President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. We fully commit ourselves to the eradication of this menace to our children, our family, and our country. We wish to reassure the public and the honorable members of our distinguished committees that those who are responsible for the drug trade in this country, once apprehended, will find nothing but prosecution and punishment under our laws. One area of utmost concern for everyone is the proliferation and escalation of drug trade in the National Penitentiary. It is most unfortunate that convicted felons who are supposed to be punished and reformed have thrived as drug entrepreneurs and drug businessmen. Why this happened, how it happened, is the reason why we are here. We have to get to the bottom of this. We all want the truth. Drugs have caused deaths. It has destroyed families. It has shattered dreams, and it will continue to menace our people if we do not stop it. It has to stop. We have to stop it. The proliferation of the drug trade in Bilibid will not have happened if the persons in charge and those in authority did their jobs and properly discharged their sworn duties. Apparently, the drug trade in Bilibid had a consent and was condoned by these people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have prepared a list of 30 resource persons who will help us all to establish why, the how, the where, the when, and most importantly, the who and how much on the proliferation of these prohibited drugs in our prisons. The Filipino people deserves the truth. We are confident that the truth will come out. The purpose of today's hearing I will present to the committee the video interview of J.B. Sebastian. The video showing the kubul of Peter Co. and other videos. Further, I will show the committee the ingenious ways our inmates in hiding their communication devices. Further, the resource persons will shed light on the participation of the highest official of the Department of Justice at that time in the proliferation of illegal drugs inside the new Bilibid prison. The nature and tenor of the testimonies of the resource persons are as follows. We will present Rafael Z. Ragos, who was once the OIC Bureau Director and who is still an employee and an officer of the NBI. He will testify that sometime in 2012, he found a black bag containing money on his bed at the Bucor Director's quarters. He received a call instructing him to deliver the black handbag containing limang manok, or in the Bilibid language, or 5 million to Mr. Ronnie Dayan. He, in June, Ablen, delivered the money to Mr. Dayan and DOJ's Secretary de Lima at her house in South Bay Village, Parañaque. Mr. Ragos will also testify that on December 12, 2012, he found money on his bed at the Bucor Director's quarter. He then received a call to deliver the money to Mr. Dayan, just like the first time, and he delivered the money to the house of Secretary de Lima. This is another 5 million pesos. Herbert Culanco, he will testify among others that he was ordered by J.B. Sebastian to sell drugs. Also, Mr. Culanco will testify that Jonel Sanchez asked him to sell drugs for the plan of then DOJ Secretary de Lima. Mr. Culanco paid payola to DOJ Secretary and Director of Bucor amounting to 3 million pesos per month, and to the Director of Bucor 1.2 million pesos per month. Rodolfo Magleo, a former major of the PNP, will testify that J.B. Sebastian told him that several drug lords and non-conforming inmates will be removed from the maximum security compounds so he could monopolize the drug trade inside the compound. He will testify that J.B. Sebastian paid millions to the DOJ Secretary de Lima and Director Bucayo, and that J.B. Sebastian is one of the financiers of the DOJ Secretary de Lima for the latter's senatorial campaign. He will also testify that J.B. Sebastian told him that he paid the DOJ Secretary de Lima 10 million pesos for the transfer of Bilibid 19 and an additional 1 million pesos per month. We will present Noel Martinez. He will testify that sometime in January 2013, and the other leaders of gangs were introduced by DOJ Secretary de Lima by J.B. Sebastian. He will also testify that sometime February 2013, J.B. Sebastian informed him that DOJ Secretary de Lima needed funds for her plan to run in the 2016 senatorial elections. J.B. Sebastian ordered the centralization of the drug sale in the Bilibid and required him and other gang leaders for help. In exchange, they will receive protection and special treatment. Provencio Ablen Jr., who is still with the NBI, will testify that he and Mr. Ragos were longtime friends, and sometime in November and December, together with Mr. Ragos, they delivered the 10 million, 5 million each, the 10 million pesos to the house of Secretary de Lima. Jaime Pacho, he will testify that J.B. Sebastian approached him for help for the senatorial campaign of DOJ Secretary de Lima. He then referred the person to J.B. Sebastian, who received drugs and paid for it through bank deposit. The other, we were instructed, we were told by the committee secretary that the others should not be brought here for order and security purposes, because I believe that with the 6 witnesses, we will have our hands full until the end of the hearing today. That is the opening statement, Your Honors, and may we request that we be allowed to present the video interview of J.B. Sebastian by the Discovery Channel And this will show how powerful this person is and why his words are law in the new Bilibid prison. Let's watch, please.
Mr. Chairman,
Majority floor.
from clarificatory questions, are these witnesses willing to testify here today? Are they testifying here today?
Yes, Your Honor. They're here and they will testify.
Okay. Without asking for an immunity or what?
They were not asking for anything, for any favor, and we did not give them, or we did not promise them anything. But their lawyers approached this representation that if it's possible that their clients be offered immunity and they're testifying here before this hearing. I agree that it's very reasonable that they've stated before me that they want to cooperate with the drug war against illegal drugs of President Duterte, and that they believe that this anomalies, this illegal drug trade in the Bilibid should stop, and they wanted to cooperate. So at the very least, I believe that whatever they tell here, I believe that they should be given immunity. So what I did, Your Honors, is that we prepared papers for their immunity only for what they are going to testify before this hearing. In other words, whatever they will testify, we led them to believe that whatever they testify here, that could not be used against them. So I appeal to the honorable members of the committee that these witnesses be given immunity, and with the endorsement and recommendation of the chairman of the Committee on Justice and the approval of by the speaker, I believe that the same should first be issued.
Precisely,
by this
Mr.
committee.
Chairman, I asked that question because as the chairman of the Committee on Rules, we have the law, Republic Act 6981, which provides the mechanism as to how these people will avail of the Witness Protection Act or the benefits of that act. Now, if that is the case and their testimony will be based on the grant of such immunity, we have to dispose that matter first, because it has to be approved by the Speaker. We saw what happened in the Senate, where a hearing there, they presented a witness, and after the hearing, the chairman or the former chairman of that committee then asked the Senate President for acceptance into the or inclusion into the witness protection program of the government, but the Senate President denied the request. So I suggest, Mr. Chairman, that we do it properly. If there is such a formal manifestation that they need such immunity, then this body should now vote whether to recommend to the Speaker the grant of such immunity under Section 4 of the Republic Act 6981. And I'll read. It says there in Section 4 of the law, witness in legislative investigations. In case of legislative investigations in aid of legislation, a witness with his express consent may be admitted into the program upon the recommendation of the legislative committee where his testimony is needed, when in its judgment there is pressing necessity therefore, provided that such recommendation is approved by the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of the Representatives, as the case may be. So in this instance, we have to dispose of that matter first, because otherwise all of this alleged testimony may not come into play. So are you now formally asking the committee for the grant of such immunity,
Mr. Chairman, I fully agree with the majority floor leader, and we ask that the majority floor leader move that this witnesses here, the inmates, be given immunity before this the hearing of this committee.
Chairman, since we were furnished last night I was furnished by the Committee on Justice the copies of these affidavits, although they're still affidavits, and as we know, affidavits are hearsay until they are testified into by the person with cross-examination. So I think the extension or the grant of such immunity to them is necessary. So I move that the committee recommends to the Speaker that these witnesses will be afforded the protection under Section 4 of Republic Act 6981.
Mr. Chair.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair, before we
Majority
vote,
Leader.
may we...
Just before the Vice Chair, Congressman Roque raised his hand first.
Yes,
just
Mr.
want to
Chair.
recognize.
Just for the record, I would like to mention the names of individuals who should be given testimonial immunity. Jovencio Ablen, Rafael Ragos, Joel Capones, Jaime Pacho, Herbert Culanco. I think those are the 6 individuals testifying today.
You only mentioned 5.
Okay, Ragos, Colanco, Magleo, Martinez, Ablen, and Pacho are 6 testifying
6.
today.
Do you confirm this, Secretary? These
Yes, Mr.
6
Chairman.
individuals. Okay, Vice Chairman Liachon.
Yes, just to follow through with the motion of our good majority floor leader. Given the names of those applying for immunity, may we know also from the good secretary the extent of the testimony? Are they all inmates? Because
No, Your Honor, only 4 of them are inmates.
And the other-
and the 2, Ragos and Ablen, are still with the NBI.
are okay. Are they also testifying now, Mr. Secretary?
We are planning to present the 6. The others, because I believe that we will lack time, Your Honor. They were left at their detention cells.
With that particularity, Mr. Chair, I would like to join the motion of the good majority floor leader.
There is a motion and a second, but before we dispose of this issue, Your Honor.
Yeah, Kong Teves. Clarificatory question lang. Does immunity equate to witness protection also? Because I think other than immunity, they will also need the witness protection program if they wish to avail.
That is,
So I'm clarifying if it's by them availing of the immunity, does it equate to also them having the avail of the witness WPP right away?
that is the prerogative of the Secretary of Justice. We have different immunities, and WPP is a program under the Department of Justice, and they have the mandate to likewise also admit any witness into the WPP. So my question is, in fact, I'd like to ask Secretary Aguirre, have they not been admitted into your program, or are you contemplating on admitting them into your program?
For the information of Your Honors, they have all, the 6 have all been admitted to the Witness Protection Program of the Department of Justice.
So I think that is a more stronger protection that can be afforded to them. In fact, I do not know if we still need a this legislative immunity that we will seek this committee and the speaker. So if they have all been admitted into the program, then I guess that would suffice, Mr. Secretary.
Actually, it is not exactly correct because before this is only a provisional admission. So that the admission will be complete, we need the recommendation of the chairman of this committee and the approval by the speaker.
So your witness, your immunity that you will grant is really subject to this particular provision of the WPP and not the regular witness protection granted under the mandate of DOJ.
That's
Anyway,
right, Mr. Chairman.
Congressman Salong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just a clarificatory question, Your Honor. Will there be no determination first on the participation or culpability of this particular persons requesting for immunity, in as much as if they appear to be the most guilty at the end of the day, everybody becomes immune, and whom are we going to prosecute or be held accountable later on?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Secretary.
hindi po kinakailangan yun sapagkat dito wala pa po tayong kaso. So, wala pa tayong...
As the movement, may I explain to the gentleman, yung most guilty applies only to discharge of witness, of the accused. Wala pa naman accused dito. This is Witness Protection Act. So, okay na yun.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just clarifying, in as much as if we already grant them blanket immunity, then at the end of the day, the government has already stopped from any filing of a criminal case later on against them.
This is only immunity from their testimonies in this legislative inquiry.
Mr. Chairman.
Congressman Garvin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since the aforementioned witnesses, Mr. Chairman, I've heard they have already prepared a written statement before they testify to this committee, and under the rules, within 48 hours, they have to furnish the committee secretariat of this affidavits or written statement, Mr. Chairman. May we know, Mr. Chairman, if members of this committee can be furnished of the affidavits in order to guide us accordingly before we grant this immunity?
Yes, in fact, we requested Secretary Aguirre to prepare sufficient copies for distribution to the members of the committee to save on time.
I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Chairman, we prepared 100 copies, sufficient copies. So if there's any members of the committee na wala pang...
I think all the members, Mr. Chairman, should be furnished with that affidavit.
May I know from the COMSEC if
They are now distributing.
they had this, they are now distributing. So,
Mr. Chair, there is a pending motion duly seconded, so can we now proceed on the rolling of the chair so that we can go ahead with the presentation of the witnesses by the Department of Justice?
Second, Your Honor.
thank you for that.
Mr. Chairman, clarification, please.
Deputy Speaker.
As we understood from the explanation of the majority leader, the approval of the immunity by this committee, by the members of this committee, I mean, is only recommendatory. It is the signature
Speaker.
of the Speaker that will be the operative act that will make the immunity recommended by this committee operative. Now, if we approve it now, being recommendatory, and we will allow the witnesses to testify now, are we not endangering these witnesses?
It's a chicken and egg matter, you know, because for them to testify, their lawyers, as manifested by the Secretary, is wanting to secure this immunity. And, you know, I believe in the wisdom of the Secretary. They have passed upon all of these affidavits. They have worked on these witnesses, and I would like to think that they did this in accordance with the rules on and if we apply the rules on regularity, then we can to in the sense of the chair, I think this is a matter that can be dispensed with. After all, we have yet to hear the testimonies, and I am almost certain all of the members of this committee would like to hear what these witnesses would testify on. So anyway, I hear no objection except comments. So there is a motion. It has been seconded. Is there any objection?
Mr. Chairman, my question has not yet been clarified.
I need a clarification in my question.
This is recommendatory. We will vote upon whether or not we will recommend to the Speaker the grant of immunity pursuant to Section 4 of the law. And as clarified by the Secretary of Justice, this is a prerequisite to the grant of immunity by the Department of Justice at the proper time. So I hope I have clarified the matter with Your Honor.
In amplification of that, Mr. Chairman, if our approval here is condition precedent to granting of the immunity, will it now be timely for us to ask these witnesses to testify even prior to the signature of the Speaker?
Mr. Chairman, to pacify the Deputy Speaker, precisely let's vote on it now, then I'll bring it to the Speaker and get the definitive action of the Speaker, whether he will approve it or not. So we have to do this first so that we can get the result.
And we will have to do it first before we proceed with the testimony of witnesses.
Of course.
That is the clarification I was waiting,
Okay.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you for that. May I recognize also Vice Chair sandali muna.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I was about to say this before the Honorable Majority Leader came up with his view. We must remember that one of the principal authors of Resolution 105 is no less than the Speaker himself. I cannot imagine the Speaker denying the request of the lawyers of the witnesses, that the witnesses be immune in whatever testimony they will give before this body. But just the same, since the Majority Leader already assured the Deputy Speaker that he will be going straight to the Speaker and seek the approval, then we may as well now vote on it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that. There has been a motion. It has been duly seconded. There being no objection, the same this request or letter requesting the Speaker requesting the Speaker for immunity for the 6 witnesses named by Honorable Roque is hereby approved.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Abu?
For the record, Mr. Chairman, showing fairness and partiality by the committee, na-mention na yung pangalan ni Secretary de Lima. And for the record, Mr. Chairman, the Office of Secretary de Lima received the invitation coming from this committee by Miss Laika Marcelo. So, and on this letter, paragraph 2, it read as, in this regard, we are inviting you as the former Secretary of the Department of Justice to attend the meeting of the committee on September 20 and 21, 2016, 9:30 a.m., Conference Room 3 and 4, Mitra Building, House of Representatives, Quezon City, to shed light on the matter and to assist the committee in its inquiry. So, pinakikita natin yung fairness, pinakikita ng committee yung fairness. She invokes yung interparliamentary courtesy, and personally, Mr. Chairman, a manifestation that ang tamang kortesiya na may ibigay natin sa kasamahan natin sa isang co-equal chamber ay magkaroon siya ng lugar kung saan mapapasubalian niya kung anuman ang mga bagay na madidiscuss dito. Yun ang pinakamagandang kortesiya na maiibigay sa kung sino man ang mababanggit na pangalan dito. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that manifestation. So we now proceed. I
Chair.
understand the
Mr. Chair.
Secretary will now make a video presentation. But before that,
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Amap.
May I know if we have granted immunity to the witness that who will testify this morning?
It's being worked on by the majority floor leader now. That's why his seat is now vacant. But the continuation is on the presentation of some video materials prepared by Department of Justice as we await the disposal of said request for immunity. So, can we now proceed, Your Honor?
Mr. Chair, as you have stated, the majority floor leader is already going to the speaker. We haven't voted. It's a condition sine qua non that we vote first.
It has been approved. There was no objection. We need not divide the House because there was no objection. So that motion is carried.
Also, may I suggest that we do not let or allow the witnesses to testify first?
We will
Kasi it's for their safety. Without
will
the
not,
immunity granted, any person mentioned in their testimony will be able to run after them. So we take care of their safety also, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for that.